brought to you by Choose New Jersey.
Welcome to Life and Living. I'm Joanna Gagas. From her infectious energy to her incredible talent in the kitchen, it's no wonder she's made 3 appearances on the Food Network's Chopped. She's Deborah Caplan, sous chef at Butter Restaurant in New York City. Oh, and she also happens to be my sister.
Yeah.
Welcome to the program, Deb.
Thank you for having me.
Well, I had to have you on because not because I wanted you to steal the limelight or because you're incredibly good looking, because that's just what happens in our family, but because you're doing some really, really, really awesome things in the food industry right now, and I couldn't be more proud of you, and I figured the world needed to hear your story. So you're at Butter right now, right?
I am.
You did not start in Butter. You are a Jersey girl, but you went to Miami.
I did. I picked up my bags and I left New Jersey when I was 18. I spread my wings, and I went to culinary school down there. I went to Johnson & Wales, and after school, I just didn't want to go right into the restaurant. I kind of, had an idea in my head that I was going to do my own thing and live my life freely and not be, in the constraints of the limited pay that we get in the restaurant.
And the grind
and the grind.
Is, right?
Well, I've never been shy of the grind, so I guess that's not fair to say.
You don't mind the work.
I've always been a hard worker, but I wanted it to be my work, and I wanted it to be my own business, and I had visions of grandeur.
So you did start your own business.
I
did. You started a personal chef business?
I did. It was called Gourmet Soiree.
Very cute.
Yeah. Hard to spell, but very cute. And I wanted to cook in people's homes. I wanted to have an impact in people's lives, in their daily lives.
Who were some of your clients?
Well, my first client right out of school was Frank Gore, the 49ers.
Football player?
Yes, football player. And his was a demanding schedule to upkeep. It was lunch, snack, dinner, snack.
And did you have to manage his weight as you were cooking his meals?
Yes. Well, he had to keep weight, and it probably would have been better if I had been working with his nutritionist to better set up his meal plan. So it was a bit of a challenge and, a learning experience right off the bat. There was a lot more to learn.
And families, right? You worked for a lot of families and some other football players. You got tapped into that network down there.
I did, yeah. Miami's an amazing place to start a business like that because it has so much room for opulence, and everyone wants to have a personal chef and a personal masseuse, and they want to have a nice flashy car, and so I think it's showier down in Miami. So it was easy for me to network myself. It was easy for it to just be word of mouth, and this person telling that person they want a personal chef.
Well, and you were very, very successful. So why give it all up? Come up here to New York where it's cold and there's no beach and you're not running outside every day.
And there's no car.
To start, as you said, grinding it in the restaurant industry, which is what you did in 2013?
2013, I decided to, take a chance on myself. I felt like as much as I loved being an impact in people's homes, I wasn't learning. I was plateauing as far as what I knew in this industry. And I felt like I was cutting off my nose to spite my own face because I knew I had so much more talent, so much more to learn. And I wasn't giving myself a fair shot at becoming a great chef.
So what was your plan coming up here?
My plan was to stay in New York for 3 months, live with you,
yes.
and commute to New York. I started at the Harrison in Greenwich Village, and then I was going to go after the 3 months to DC to live with my other sister Rachel.
Also my other sister.
Yeah, also your other sister, yes. And then I was going to head off to Europe.
What were you going to do in Europe?
I was going to stage, hopefully get a,
What does that mean for us lay people?
Stage is an internship.
In a restaurant.
In a restaurant, yeah, to not be paid, for your labor and off the books. Especially if you're in another country where you're not legal there.
So talk about grunt labor. You're working for free. You're learning everything you can, and probably being the gopher for just about anything that these chefs need.
Exactly.
What a great learning experience, right?
Yes, and I had worked so hard to save up to do this trip and to just, all right, I'm going to take this amount of time and this amount of money, and I'm just going to fully submerge myself into my career and learn everything that I possibly can.
Okay, so what happened?
I got one of the pastry chefs that I work with Colleen Grapes, is best friends with Alex Guarnaschelli, and one day she came in and said, "So I talked to Alex about you, and she's expecting your call." And I was maybe a month shy of leaving New York to go on my trip, and I kind of was like, okay, well, we plan, God laughs. He has a plan for us, and this opportunity is here, and I don't know if it's going to be here when I get back, so I just have to grab it. I have to grab the bull by the horns.
And to put this in context for those of you who don't know, Alex Guarnaschelli is the executive chef at Butter Restaurant in New York City, and she's also one of the judges on the Food Network's Chopped. So this is where you end up getting a job.
Yes.
At Butter Restaurant in New
Yes.
York City.
And I fell in love with it.
Talk about what you're doing there at Butter right now. You're the sous chef at Butter.
I am.
Talk about how you are working, thriving in that kitchen, creating an enjoyable experience for your guests.
Well, I come in early every day, and I want to make sure that, things are done a very specific way, and that's the right way, and that's Alex's way. And, I am in charge of the BEOs, the banquet event ordering, and also all of the private dining room, parties, and everything extra that happens in the restaurant. So, along with my responsibilities of prepping my own station, down from cutting my own chives and my shallots to, the actual production.
And contributing to some
service.
specials as well, right? You get
Yes.
to have some creative input there. What I really want to talk about is how you took that experience at Butter, all the things that you've learned in this time that you've been working in the kitchen, and you brought it to Chopped. You had the opportunity to compete. Alex was not the judge, to be clear.
Yeah, she
You
was not.
were in front of a panel of judges. Tell us what happened. Tell us about that experience.
Well, I kind of went in kicking and screaming. I
Did not want to go.
I did not want to go. Alex was sort of training one of my coworkers at the time to be on Chopped, and she kind of was like, "You're next." And I was like,
Why, you don't like being on camera?
shaking in my boots. And I finally said, "Okay, fine." She's like, "You didn't have a choice, but go ahead."
Because you were forced there. What happens when you get there?
After the months of training for it, I kind of got to a place in my head where I was like, I can do this.
How do you train for it?
We actually went through the process of open your basket.
But you don't know what's going to be in that basket.
No, not
so
even
no
at
matter
all.
how you train, you have no idea what's going to be open that day.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. But you can have an idea of, a template, I guess you could say, of, okay, well, if I have this in my basket, what are my vessels that I can put it in?
Give us a for instance. So if you have a protein, what do you want to do with it?
Well, say I have a protein and it's an appetizer. I can make a tartare, I can make a taco, I can make a flatbread, I can make a salad. So you have a direction to go into versus just like, this is a protein, I have to cook it, I don't know what to do with it.
Okay, so understanding there are various things that you know are going to work, that you can go to when you see whatever that crazy ingredient is.
Exactly.
Can you tell us what happened on that first episode of Chopped?
Well, I won. I did. I won the first episode. It was Oktoberfest. It was all about highlighting German food and beer,
And you went up against a big burly German
big,
who
burly German
does
guy.
Oktoberfest for a living. We were scared. We were shaking.
Yeah.
But you pulled it out.
I did, and I was happy with the food that I made that day.
How did you grow in that process?
I can do anything that I set my mind to. The whole journey from Florida to New York, nothing was set in stone, nothing was certain. Going on Chopped, I had nothing to lose and everything to gain, and that was just a roadblock that I had for so long that it was taken down. And
so then they called you back, Chopped Champions,
They
right?
did.
You got to compete on Chopped Champions. Now, to make it clear, there is a semifinal round, 4 people get knocked out, and then you go on to the final round if you go on. What happened there?
I won the first round, and it was so much harder, so much more difficult, such talented chefs. Obviously these are all chefs that already won. So, you're competing with people who are champions, and it was definitely a challenge. But I succeeded the first round and went on to the second, and obviously an even tougher crowd to be around. Much more talent. So.
Steeper competition.
A steeper competition.
You got knocked
yeah.
out. You were the third finalist, right?
Third finalist, yeah.
We actually had someone else who was on the program with you, Chef Manny, on
Yes,
Life and
that was
Living
great,
here
yeah.
as well. I know you two competed together. Probably a very unique experience for both of you. Well, Deborah Caplan, sous chef at Butter Restaurant. You are making New Jersey proud, but more importantly, you're making our family proud, and you're making me proud. And I love you too. And I know our audience loves her too, because she's the best. Thank you.
New Jersey invented the light bulb. It keeps us well lit and monster-free. Today, New Jersey produces megawatt minds that power innovation. Choose New Jersey and enter a state of brilliance.
Also brought to you by the New Jersey Office of the Insurance Fraud Prosecutor, RWJ Barnabas Health, and by Kessler Foundation,